It is October 22nd. It is 7:08 p.m. This is the board meeting of Committee Board 11. We have. Does everybody have the agenda? It's on the website. That's one of the few things that we were able to upload to the website. I did send out an email with everything. I shared in the chat. Can you share the can you go to our website? Is that possible? I'm going to start live streaming that.
So are we having a moment of silence or no?
I can't be able to share though.
What's that? The chat?
I cannot be. Oh, I'm responding to Farah about you cannot listen to us, so I'm going to send her a code.
Well, do you have the agenda, Frano?
Yes.
Jeremy, I could post the agenda in the chat.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, somebody can. That'd be helpful. Just can't get the agenda for whatever reason.
I'm trying to explain that I can't hear you.
Yeah, everybody else hears me though, right?
Yeah. I can barely hear anybody.
It might be something with your internet connection. We should work offline after the meeting, Pat. I'll work with you individually as I've worked with a lot of board members lately on your connectivity issues. I've learned a few things that might be able to help. All right, Frano, it's all you.
Okay, let's take a moment of silence for all the men and women overseas, our first responders, and all the people that have suffered from this COVID-19. And let's keep them in our mind and in our prayers, that God guide them always. And one more special that this election goes as smooth as possible for both candidates, and that this country is at peace.
Amen.
Thank you.
Amen to that. Amen to that.
Great. Is Al in yet? Does anybody know? Al? He can't get on at all. I don't know why. We got the chairman's report. I need the agenda, or is everybody cool? Are the board members you want me to share the agenda?
Yes.
It's online.
Yes, it's simple online. Just look at it.
Well,
if you can share it, that'd be great.
All right.
May I?
So let's move on to the chair. Well,
may I speak?
I mean,
I just would like to make. Yes, I was not here the last time, and I just would like to request two things. That's the conduct and meeting statement, and also the FY 2022 community board budget priority requests. If you could mail them to me or put them in my email, I appreciate it. Thank you. That's it.
Okay, so everybody sees the agenda, board members. So Al's having trouble getting in. We'll come back to him. Is Veronica in finally? Hazel, you're in, right?
Yes, Hazel is in.
I had to come in on my phone. I couldn't get on through the laptop.
Okay, so the minutes were emailed out. I forget how long ago at this point. There was an early draft. A more final draft was today. Submitted, was just emailed to you maybe 20 minutes ago because I couldn't get the city to publish it soon enough. It was the real difference. The primary difference is adding the attendance to the end of the document, which is required in our bylaws. So that was the attendance for the meeting, even though there were technically attendance with the election results and the roll call vote, but not everybody was there for both. So the full attendance is attached to that. Hazel, anything else?
No, I don't know why the city didn't post them. We need to work on that so that they are posted by meet by the time that we have our full board meetings. So can we work on that together?
Yeah, well, the big thing is making sure we have attendance. We haven't put attendance in the minutes for a while, so it was a lot of, it was actually really, so I was trying last year's meetings because some people are concerned about the attendance of board members. So it took a little while to get that form up and running. It is up and running now. So if you have any comments or suggestions on it, we'd be more than happy to take them.
Thank you.
Minutes too.
So,
if that's
I make a
helpful.
motion to, can I go on?
If you want to make a motion, make a motion.
Yeah, I make a motion to approve the September 2020 full board meeting minutes as distributed.
I second it. Dominic seconds it.
Okay, before we get into before we get into discussion, can everybody mute themselves that's not talking? There's feedback that people are complaining that I'm cutting in and out for. So even though you think you're not making any noise, it picks up every little sound, and it really disrupts the meeting. Go ahead, Hazel. Discussion?
Discussion, anyone?
Nope.
No? All those in favor?
Aye.
I got to mute everybody. I don't know why people can't mute themselves. Any abstentions or objections? That's really what we need. I heard people are in favor. Any abstentions or objections? If not, anything else, Hazel? That's it. Unmute yourself, Hazel. Hazel?
Sorry. Well, that was
Okay.
you muted me. I'm sorry.
Well, yeah, I have to mute. I can't, unfortunately, I don't know who's making the noises, so I have to mute everybody.
Okay, so the minutes have been approved.
Great. Okay. Let me go back to the agenda. District manager's report. My report was submitted in the email. If you have any questions, please see me after the meeting. It was talked about. I will not go into great detail. The only thing missing from my report that I wouldn't want to touch upon was trying to transition to Zoom. We will be transitioning as soon as possible. Don't hold your breath on how quickly that will happen in terms of the platform we'll be using. So please save your questions for the end unless it's something really urgent. And then we'll turn it over to committee reports for leadership. Yahe?
Yes, hello everyone. We did meet. We met in person at Maestro's. They did accommodate us. We plan to meet again next month at Maestro's again. I was there today, and I thank them very much for allowing us to be there. As you know, other facilities, including Einstein, they have declined to let us be there. So they've been basically closed for 7 months. They are struggling. So we appreciate them opening their doors for us and allowing us to have the meeting there. I think the minutes have been uploaded, and that's pretty much it.
We don't
I just want to add to that.
Go ahead. I don't know who that is.
This is Darrell. I just wanted to say that I found out the leadership meeting was in person. I strongly object to having meetings in person going forward and in the midst of, the uprises of COVID-19. And, quite frankly, a lot of people are getting reinfected. So I don't think that will be wise for us to meet in person. And I think it's too risky.
Point taken. It was less than probably 15 people in a room. The room was pretty big. There was social distancing. Everyone had a mask on. There was hand sanitizers. They took temperatures of everyone coming into the hall. So everything was followed, and we believe that a smaller group like that, it can meet in person. I do accept your objection to it, and if we get more objections, then we might switch it. But for now, we did get a lot of people that that did attend, and not too many objections from the leadership committee.
Do understand, but in the midst, like I said again, in the midst of COVID-19, you know, cases rising and stuff like that, you know, the media is not talking a lot about reinfections. This is a big thing. And I'm quite sure they will start talking about it in the future. But, you know, meeting in person, I mean, we have so many resources, you know, why would we do that? You know, right now we're talking to each other right now. I see you clearly. You see me clearly. I think this is the way we should do it for the rest of the year, to be quite frank.
This is Naomi Pemberton, and I agree with Darrell. I think right now it's a little bit premature to be meeting in person. I just heard news today of a friend of mine who has COVID. And, you know, it's just, you know, people have families, people, you know, I have elderly parents. You know, I think it's a premature. You know, I think we should consider it next year.
Point taken also. We did have the option for folks to attend via WebEx. So if you feel uncomfortable, you're part of that age where you think you might be an issue for you, or you have folks at home, or you're diabetic, or you have that condition, then you can join us online via WebEx. You don't have to attend. It was optional for those that wanted to attend, and we did have a good number of people who wanted to do it in person.
Yeah, I was just going to ask.
That's why Patricia Charles would like to speak, and I agree with Yahe, because I know that a lot of us are having difficulty getting on these Zooms and these different virtuals. So I feel that, like we did, everybody that was in attendance didn't have a problem. So those who feel that they need to stay at a distance, you can also be online as we speak. And those who want to be in attendance just need to be in attendance so that you can see people's faces. And even though you do it on Zoom and on the social media, a lot of us are having problems with it. So that's why I don't mind actually being there, because we do keep ourselves healthy, and we do, you know, we are mindful of other people's conditions. So we just want to be able to still get back out there and be amongst doing things that person.
Thank you, Pat. And I think Ada, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, actually, I wasn't there. So, but now that Ms. Charles said that she was there, it sounds like if you have the option to either appear in person or do it virtually, I don't really see what the issue would be with it. I understand people's concerns, but I mean, some of us have been back at work for the last 4.5 months, so work in the office. So
hi, this is Daisy. I also have concerns about this. Does staff have the ability to make that decision as well, and make that choice?
The community board staff, only Jeremy was there that evening.
Correct. Does he have a choice in that matter to be working offline?
When I had the discussion with him, he wasn't opposed to it. If he had a concern, I think we probably would have worked through the concern and found a different way to do it.
So this is Jeremy. Intend on doing the remote thing, because basically whoever remotely last meeting told me it was terrible and they understand everything. Naomi, you did it remotely, right?
Correct. And I was just going to bring that up, Jeremy. I couldn't really hear a lot of what was going on. So it was very difficult. And, you know, I understand, you know, you want to have in-person meetings, but I just, you know, feel that with the pandemic, and we don't know, even our president has gotten it. with all of that going on, it just seems to me very premature to be meeting in person. And I think if you're having technical issues, I think maybe we can do, I don't know if the community board can have like a class or something so that people understand how to log on and log off. My company did it. They did a virtual class, so that's just a recommendation.
And
we're doing all of that, but in the same token, like I'm saying, I can't hear as loud and clear as I did the last session that we had. We had another session, I'm on it, and I hear. But right now, there's technical difficulty me hearing everybody's conversation. So that's what I'm saying. It's not where we can't see. I feel that I don't want nobody to see my face right now. But in the same token, we are listening to each other and we're responding to each other's needs. So if those who can get on, and that's fine, and those who cannot need to be in person, then that should be an option where we're all getting the same information.
Yeah, I just think that if it's, I think if it's the majority can get online and they're okay with it, and there's a minority that cannot or having technical issues, I think we need to deal with the minority and help them to, get online or have the education for the technical issues or assist with that.
All right. So, if I can be the last word on this,
Yeah, can I say something, Jeremy?
Yeah, go ahead, Fredo.
Yeah, Jeremy, I saw that meeting at my show online on Facebook, and I see everybody is like 6 feet away from the table. I don't think we should have a problem in that. I work in the health institution, a hospital, since the pandemic, and I mean, once you take care of yourself, precaution, I mean, you're good to go. I mean, I don't see why we, if everybody follow the protocol, we will be safe. And if people, if you can see it online on the Facebook, then, you can follow too. If who don't want to come, don't want to come. You can stay home and do that. That's my thoughts on it.
As I was going to say for myself, I personally would prefer online. But it's ultimately not my decision; it's the board's. Maybe we can move on and discuss this later. No.
Yes.
Jeremy, it's Sandy. All I wanted to say was Zoom works much better. All you need to do is to buy an account, and it's not that expensive. And I think people will find it much easier to get on and less frustrating.
Yeah, so we have a platform that is Zoom based. It's called HD Office Suite Meeting. We have up to for committees we can do it. We started off with this actually, and I plan on doing that, starting with that for committees because we already have that. The full board is a different issue, but yeah, ideally we're going to go to Zoom. We're going to pay for it.
Yeah, just buy the account. You could have up to 100 people.
Yeah, no. It's just when we're not doing minutes and stuff like that.
Yeah, can we move on?
Al, or do you want to get into when you're still conduct stuff? Yeah.
We can go to that. Did we send the email out to everybody with the letter? So there is a letter that we're working on. Actually, it's a notice that we're working on. So community board members are held to a certain standard when they're at meetings, and we wanted to have a standard for members of the public when they do attend community board meetings. And we came up with something that we plan to include in. We're trying to fit it in every committee agenda, and we're going to upload it to the website. I don't want to go through the letter, the entire letter, Jeremy, but if you can just email it to everybody. And do we need to vote on it or anything?
It's
a little difficult to vote on something that nobody has seen.
Right. Not only that, there might be changes. People may come up with other suggestions.
That was one of the reasons why one of the reasons why it wasn't sent out, because I had made some suggestions and there were some suggestions at leadership. So yeah, I mean, I think both Yahe and I were pretty busy. I mean, to get it to it, unfortunately. So Yahe. It was voted on at committee, to my knowledge.
Yeah, it was voted on at committee. Jeremy, would you be able to just read it real quick, and we can just vote on it? And if anyone has any issues, we'll have a discussion about it.
Why don't we wait till?
Yeah, I can and read it.
Okay, yeah, that'd be great.
Jeremy, why don't you just email it out to every board member and we'll vote on it next month.
Very good point, Andrea.
I agree with Andrea.
You want to just, we'll discuss it further
So you
and
want to
email it to everybody?
So I guess you'll table, yeah.
Yeah, let's table it for next month.
Okay. All right. So maybe we should turn it over to, is there anything else for leadership? Yeah.
Negative, thank you.
I mean, it wasn't, I just want to, I did learn something technologically as a result of meeting in person. That I think, so thank you for that. Yeah.
Brother, can you put your computer on mute, please? I can hear you drinking a lot.
Is that?
You too, Sandy.
Oh, you heard?
Oh, we can hear you, Sandy. You got to stay muted, please. Yeah, I'm going to unmute Al. Mr. Chairman D'Angelo.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Did you mention the equity committee while I was trying to get on?
No, we're waiting for you. So you're on now.
All right, thank you. Thank you. We took Christian Amato's a suggestion about setting up an equity committee, which would address racial and gender bias disparities. And I asked Darrell to chair the ad hoc committee. Darrell, maybe you could say something about what we've done so far.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I appreciate the introduction and good evening, everybody. I am happy to be the chairman of the Equity Committee. I look forward to working with my colleagues, Paula, Lisa, Edith, and Christian, who accepted to be the members of the committee. The Equity Committee is going to be inclusive. We're going to have conversations regarding diversity and inequity issues that will address in a responsible fashion, and recommendations will be rendered in the best interest of the community we serve. Our first meeting is on Tuesday, November 10th at 7:15. And subsequent meetings will be every second Wednesday of the month. Thank you.
Darrell, can I ask you a question, please?
I will refer all the questions until the meeting on November 10th, if you can.
No, I'm just curious what you're going to be discussing.
You can join our November 10th meeting and we can fully discuss everything, but like I said, it's going to be inclusive. That's what the committee is going to be about. We're going to discuss issues both internally, externally in regards to the community. And, we will go further into that. If you want to join our meeting on November 10th on Tuesday at 7:15, be our guest.
Thank you. I'm sorry, this is Naomi. I just have a question. Is this committee going to be talking about diversity training for everyone? Or addressing that?
We're still working on the details of our meeting for November 10th. We still got time.
Okay, thank you.
I think the committee at this point is just trying to put together a plan of action. So before everybody starts jumping in on Darrell asking him to explain, I think this committee should sit down, decide where they want to go with this, and then we'll present it to the full board.
And as per our conversation with the chairman, just to piggyback off of him, it's an ad hoc trial. Essentially, it's going to be for 3 months, in which we would, have these inclusive conversations, and then, hopefully the committee would become official at that point, based on our recommendations and feedback and etc.
Anything else, Al?
That's great. Thank you. That's all I have.
All right, great. So let me share the agenda again. Give me Andrea Siegel.
Okay, the fiscal year 2022 budget request was sent out, was emailed to each and every board member. Hope you had a chance to look it over. What the committee decided was to only go for the items that we thought were absolutely necessary. So I'd like to make a motion that you approve the budget priority request as was distributed.
You get a second?
Second, Ken Gallagher seconded.
Thank you.
Open for discussion?
Discussion? Anybody against? I guess the motion passes then.
Any abstentions?
Oh,
Don't
sorry.
forget about who's that?
Patricia?
Pat Charles?
Yes.
Okay. All right, one abstention. It passes.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Fran, transportation?
Yeah, there's only one motion out there to send a email of no objection to the New York City Taxi and Limousine Commission regarding options transportation at 740 Morris Park Avenue.
Was this voted in committee? Wasn't clear in the
Yes.
minutes. So,
Yes.
okay, was? All right, so we got to amend the minutes for that. Any discussion?
Can you elaborate what that means? I'm not sure what that means.
Basically, a company comes before us. They have, I guess, either a license or a renewal with the Tax and Limousine Commission. They made their presentation. The committee felt that everything was fine, and we have no objection to them getting a renewal or a license to operate a taxi service.
This is Daisy. Can I add just one more thing? I believe this is the one that we had checked with the Morris Park Association and also was told that there was no issue with them.
Yeah.
Thank you, Daisy.
Dominic, I second it.
I have a question, discussion.
Go ahead.
The location, do they have, where are they going to be having their taxis and limousines? It's going to be on the street? Do they have a place where they are putting that? How are they, was that discussed?
As far as I know, this is a dispatch, but Daisy could chime in. And so they don't necessarily have to have their cabs.
I had to mute you, Frano, because there's too much feedback from other people. Can you unmute yourself?
I can chime in since.
Okay. So basically, it is my understanding it's a dispatch type of service. Therefore, there's no need to have cabs waiting around. Daisy, if I'm wrong, please chime in.
I think Chris has more information, but I believe they also had a location where they park their cars. Chris?
Okay, like Frano said, this is just a dispatch. It's two kind of cab companies. Ones that are dispatch, that what they do mostly they do, especially here in Northeast, they deal with people that have Medicare, Medicaid, and do medical transportation mostly, which means they get phone calls prior, and after that they send cabs directly to them based on the phone calls they have done. But on top of that, to my understanding, they have like 4 or 5 parking spaces behind the diner on Morris Park.
Behind, okay, is this location, this is between Unionport and Victor Street?
No,
It's 740.
It's not far from the diner.
Okay, all right, thank you.
And any further discussion? Okay. Well, any objections before? Any abstentions? Motion passes.
Okay. So I think it's over to the Ethics Committee now, unless you have something else, Frano?
No, everything else, it's in the minutes and in your email, so please read them, and that's it.
Okay. Yeah, hey?
Yeah, can you skip me for now because we are going to need to go into executive session to discuss a couple of complaints.
Put in old business, right? So to speak, or towards the end. Land use, Ken Gillett?
Good evening. I apologize, I did not get the minutes in on time, but we will have minutes to be posted in the next few days. We basically had a meeting. There's one issue came up before, the meeting was on this past Monday. There was one issue that came up, that is the gas station on the corner of Williamsbridge and East Chester Road, right next to the firehouse. Basically what they want to do is convert from a gas station into a gas station and convenience store. The issue that came up from a member of the public and from other members was that the firehouse was not invited and did not comment on if there would have any effect on them. We believe that a public hearing should be held, and we're going to especially explicitly invite the fire department to come and comment to see if this will have any effect on their dispatch or on their operations. And the minutes of the meeting will be published in the next few days. Thank you.
Thank you. Unless there's a question, to Park and Recreation, Pat Charles.
Yes, hello, everyone. The meeting, we had a very good meeting, and all of the minutes are in place, so you can read it online or read it however they have been distributed to the community board.
We don't have minutes for your committee. I don't know who. I spoke with Harry earlier. We don't have minutes. I don't know if anybody from the committee took minutes.
I believe it was, well, we didn't take any minutes because Harriet and we were just really getting through what we had to for the meeting, because she was very, she was trying to help out with recording and making sure that we are in and out of, like muted and whoever wanted to speak, but I doubt it very much because I thought it was being recorded.
Yeah, we'll talk offline about it then. Okay.
Okay, we'll do next time.
Okay, public safety, Yahe?
Yes, we met. The minutes, I think, should be available. And that's all. Thank you.
Okay. Gallery session. Roxanne Delgado, I have to unmute. She's our first gallery session speaker. Nope, this is not what I need.
Okay, so everybody is aware. I will keep it to 2 minutes, and make sure you cut them off, Jeremy.
Yep, I know. 2 minutes for everybody. Except for the electeds, giving the electeds 10. Or he gave them a limit of 10. The reps are having 2 minutes, but the elected officials themselves.
Hello? Wait, before I start, I sent an email to the chair to request additional time, and he hasn't responded. So can I speak to the chair now regarding to grant me additional time, because I have 4 points to mention?
I was under the impression that everybody gets 2 minutes, and that was from the chairman.
No, but I'm speaking to the chair now because I sent him an email and left him a voicemail. So I would like him to address this now, if I can have additional time, just to address the 4 issues that we've been going back and forth by email. So can you unmute the chair? What?
I said we would stick to 2 minutes.
Yes, but then you didn't respond to my email, so that's a shame that you don't want the public to speak, especially when there's only one member of the public right now.
You are
I mean, it's a shame.
You are speaking. You're having exactly the same amount of time as everyone else.
No, I'm not saying I'm not having. I just need additional time because we have some certain issues that haven't been addressed by emails, and I didn't respond to them. So I figured I could bring them up at the public meeting.
if we make one exception, then we have to make others, and that wouldn't be right to everybody else.
But then before I start, can you at least respond to the emails then? Please?
Right
I
now,
won't be
you
able to
have a
address
question. Ask your question. Or
I
make
don't
your
have a
statement.
question. I have a statement.
Okay,
All right,
Jeremy,
make your statement.
let's start 2 minutes, please.
All right, you got 2 minutes, Ms. Delgado.
And can you give me a 30 second before you start, before you finish it?
Yes,
Okay, so tell me when to start.
go ahead.
Okay, this is regarding the open meeting law. The open meeting law states that meetings held by a community board should be open to the public and accessible to members of the public. This has been going on for quite a while that it's not accessible because the community board continues to put in the hyperlink on the agenda. Often the agenda is not posted on the website or the link is broken, so no one can access the link to the meeting when the agenda is not posted on the website or the link is broken. And also we have people who are vision impaired, hearing impaired. They cannot use these applications. They have to do a colon. You never give that option. You should send an email providing the hyperlink as well as the alternative call-in option, so people who cannot use the application will be able to at least call in. So this is in violation of open meeting law regarding minutes. I mean, I just received the minutes 10 minutes ago, so I didn't even have time to look over it. But this has been ongoing issues where minutes are not posted, not less even the recordings that have been posted, like for the Parks meeting has not been posted. Minutes on regarding the leadership meeting held this week. No fault to Yahe, but he may not be aware, but that same night when I tried to get into the leadership meeting, the link was broken. There was no agenda posted. And now the community board states to me that the recording they cannot post because it's inaudible. So people were denied access to the leadership meeting because of these issues that have
30
been
seconds.
ongoing. I'm sorry, what?
30 seconds.
Okay, the fact that when phase 4, it took phase 4 for the community board 11 to start responding to phone calls. I think it's a shame community board through the 3 phases were not available to the public. I myself made myself available to public in the Parkway, helping people apply for unemployment, apply for the stimulus check, apply for DMV. But when people call CB11 for the first 3 phases, MIA. So I guess I don't have time to address my 4th point, which was the dog run, but
Okay, time.
God forbid I should go over a second, Franco, right?
No, you.
Sorry for I muted you. I muted everybody. So unless the board member has a question, we will go on to the next gallery session speaker. So Mr. Bob Press is the next and last gallery session.
Is it true what she's claiming? I don't know. I mean, she made 3 points. What are her allegations true?
I just want to chime in, like, in regards to the link on the like the community board page, because I know I participated as like just observing the budgets committee, I believe, and the way that like I got onto it was like through the link that was like attached in the agenda. So, but that's only one committee meeting that I've been to, so I can't speak for all of them. So I'm just like putting that out there that it worked for me for that one committee meeting.
Edit, Dominic, how are you?
Hi, Dominic.
She's spot on when it comes to calling the community board. Okay, nobody, very rarely does somebody actually pick up the phone. And I made numerous requests from the end of May or beginning of June on that it should roll over to somebody's phone, seeing that they were working 5 days a week, 9 to 5. So when it comes to somebody calling the community board, 99 times out of 100, especially for the first 3 or 4 months, you got an answering machine. Now, I've called on numerous occasions and people have gotten back to me, but I'm an officer on the board. The general public, I don't know what their response is to that. But the bottom line is, when that phone rings, if there's 3 people working and they're working from home, that phone should roll over to somebody's cell phone, because you don't want to give that out to the general public. And I mean, I stated that at the leadership or whatever committee was last Tuesday. And that's one of the reasons why I made the decision that I'm going to be making by the end of the month. That's it. I'm done.
Well, Dominic, actually do have a question because something that was sent today from the treasurer, it indicated that there was like a cell phone bill, I believe, in the amount of $400 or from each month. So if that's the case, why are the phone calls not being answered?
Pascal,
So, Chris, Harriet, do you want to
Can I
chime
say
in?
something? Yeah, I want to chime in. I want to be the first one. Well, let's start with Dom. To my understanding, as many phone calls as you have done, within 1 hour, 2 hours, we have responded back to you. The same thing we have done with the public. Whenever they leave a message, it happened that, phone calls were coming toward mine on the second month, were coming on my private cell phone. And still I was able to respond to all the phone calls. And so the last 2 months, we've been going over there, at least me, I'm going Wednesday and Fridays, 9 to 5. You got to understand. And besides that, on Wednesdays, I have with me my risking that I am diabetic, I have high blood pressure, I have with me present, taking measures. I have one of the interns. So it's 2 people, at least on Wednesday, they're responding phone calls. But also you got to understand
Chris,
that, by being, hold on.
I understand what you're
No,
saying.
but
This
let
has,
me finish.
well, I'm not saying anything about showing up at
hold
the
on.
board.
Hold
Don,
on.
let him finish,
Hold on.
please.
Let me finish. I heard you, respect me. Just because a cord fell on the ground and it happened that you stay for 45 minutes to wait for either Con Ed or police or whoever's going to come, that is not our fault. You volunteered to stay over there, and because of that. Now, if you would have called 911, then somebody would have been directed over there besides the fact. Either you are public or you are a board member. And I've spoken with a lot of board members that I've called. You can ask Diane Norris. Every time she's called, every time the phone has been picked up, either from me or from my intern. But you gotta understand that sometimes it might be 2, 3 phone calls. I gotta
Excuse me, that's right. And I'm always calling.
So there you go. I mean, I don't understand why the public is now. When it comes to Ms. Delgado, I've helped her on many occasions, either through the phone or through emails. But also, Ms. Delgado got to understand that not everything can happen within 24 seconds. Certain things take priority.
Okay, Jeremy, really quick.
Go ahead. Who's speaking?
Jeremy,
Respond to that, if you don't mind. Okay.
Really quick. The other caller had a few issues, right? Some comments. Does the community board address these issues? Because she made some, decent points, like call options for people with disabilities. I mean, is there a way to respond to those, saying that, we're not up to speed with that yet? Also, are we truly giving late meeting minutes at the last minute? Are we doing that? Also, if there's an issue with the link being broken when we try to log on to it? I know even at my job, the links, sometimes it breaks. Can we answer those questions? And also the different phases that happened during COVID where the community board wasn't available. Maybe it was because we were in the midst of still getting people, online properly. Maybe there were issues that need to be addressed during that phase.
Oral,
Does
you
the
got to
community board have
understand
a way
that.
of answering these issues in some type of letter?
Oral.
Hold on, Chris.
We're missing a lot of time here. All these things occur. It's technology. Before COVID, nobody knew about Zoom or WebEx, unless you were.
I agree. That's what I'm not blaming. I'm just saying that.
Little bit of patience until we get hand into it. And God's willing, maybe we're going to go face to face and get back to whatever we was doing.
No, I agree, Chris. I'm not placing blame. I'm just wondering, is there a way to respond to it?
When we come into the staff, respond to phone calls, we've been covering the office Monday to Friday, sometime even in the middle of the night. I've gotten texts middle of the night asking what's going to be in the agenda, and I still responded. People call me on my private phone that I've given to most of them, saying that I cannot make it because I'm sick or I have to work. So what else we can do? You tell me. I can start smoke signals too. I can do that.
So Chris, let me input, because Oral asked me a question. So when Ms. Delgado's right, she's right. Right? I will give her credit for when she's right. Minutes. We don't get minutes soon enough, right? I mean, Ken apologized, but you know what? Ken just had a meeting on Monday. I'm not concerned about that. The thing is, though, we do not have to publish our minutes on our website. And in fact, I've asked quite a few of you to actually check out other community board websites and compare them. If you look at Community Board 1 in the Bronx, they don't publish any minutes. They don't even tell you who their board members are. A community board in Brooklyn doesn't publish their minutes. By law, minutes need to be made available 2 weeks following the meeting upon request. So if somebody requests the minutes, whatever we have or whatever document we have, we give it to them. In terms of the minutes, correct me if I'm wrong, but I sent out draft minutes like 2 weeks ago because everybody, not everybody, but a lot of people wanted to know how the diversity vote went. So Harriet and me together turned that around quickly. We sent it to Hazel. We sent it out. So the only thing missing from it, like I said earlier, was the attendance. I whipped that up today, right? Even if the minutes are incorrect, we can correct them later. We had an issue with ethics committee Tuesday night. I already corrected that. It's already should be, well, it's probably not live because when I sent to the city today, they only responded to one request I made of them. But yeah, I mean, there's definitely room for improvement. What we talked about at the leadership committee meeting. And Hazel, because Hazel's been a board member prior to her appointment last year since 1995. And she said, what happened to each committee choosing its own secretary? And, you know, something the equity committee maybe wants to look into as well, because historically it used to be the women that only did the minutes. So there's a lot of things that we can improve upon. And I mean, I'm a perfectionist, as some of you know, and I do my best. And Chris can tell you, Chris and Harry can tell you, I bother them about the stupidest things sometimes. It seems stupid, but it's a long-term strategy. So unless there's anything else, can we please move on?
Hello? I would
Yeah,
just
Pat?
like to add, I would just like to add that anything that anyone is requesting, if it's with the most up respect, then it would definitely go a longer way than it's not so much what you say, it's how you say it. So when you want things to be done, respect goes a long way. And that's the end of that.
Okay.
I agree, Charles. But you know what? This is exactly why we need to address people's concerns, right? Also, so, and not just kind of like let them fall on deaf ears, and just respond to what they're asking for. And just say, like, in this instance, now I know that we're like, the board is not required to post the minutes. I didn't know that before, but that's good to know. But she, you know, anyway. But I think that it's good to look at these as they come up.
Okay, so may I move on to our next gallery session speaker, please? Ms. Frano, are you ready to time, Mr. Press?
Yes, make sure you don't mute me so he could hear me at 30 seconds and so on.
I know, but at the end, when they keep going, and you told me to cut them off, and that's what I did last time.
No, it's fine, but I'm saying leave me unmuted.
I will, as long as people use proper etiquette and we don't get a lot of feedback. If I mute everybody, I'll mute Mr. Press too.
Okay, so go ahead, Bob.
All right, the district manager sent out a statement from Andy King on the recent action by the city council. His former district office, however, remains functioning as stated. But unfortunately, I am no longer Andy King's representative to Community Board 11. With my vast experience of community boards throughout the Bronx and my knowledge of the East Bronx, I will continue as a community resident of Community Board 11 to assist the board or its members if needed. Here are two examples. The gas station mentioned in the land use meeting was heard by CB 11. Since the property is in Community Board 11, I was able to ask at their meeting why Community Board 11 was not involved, and now I see that I have been listened to. As to committee minutes, they should not be published until they are adopted at the following meeting because they can be changed at the next meeting. And sometimes committee meetings may not be held for a month or two, so you may not have minutes adopted for 2 or even 3 months, as we did on Community Board 8, which was one of the most functioning boards in the Bronx. And that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you. Next.
So that concludes the gallery. We do have elected officials, and at least one, I believe, if he's still there. Let me, Mark?
Hey, Jeremy. Yes, I'm here. Do you hear me?
Yep. So I'm sorry, Mark, but we have to give you only 10 minutes.
I don't even need 10. I just I wanted to chime in on all of those that are still suffering during this pandemic and crisis and the economic devastation we've had. I don't think there's anyone that doesn't know of someone that has passed in the last 8 months or so from COVID. So I'll keep all of them in my prayers. I just want to thank all of the community board members for the work that they're doing. I want to congratulate the newly appointed members, but I want to recognize the hard work that you all do year in and year out. And we don't speak enough about that. And as an elected official, if I had it my way, I would truly empower the community boards to not only have a suggestive voice and a recommendation to their needs, but empower you in more ways, because you truly know what you are, the eyes and the ears of our community, and you know what's best for our communities. So I know that my rep, I believe Farah, is on. She's going to talk about some of the upcoming events. And I just wanted to thank all of you for what you're doing. If you have any questions for me, I'm happy to answer them. And if not, God bless you for what you're doing.
Thank you, Mark.
All right. Unless there's any questions for the council member, please let me know. No?
I have a question for the council member.
Go ahead, Christian.
Hey, Councilman Joan, I just have a question about 2021. Do you have any plans to modify or expand the EULR process? Given that you're talking about empowering the community boards more, I think this is an area that we could definitely use your voice on. This is a matter we could use your support on. Typically, the EULR process is a top-down process. I think it would work better if it went from the community board to the city, and I would love any thoughts you have on this matter.
Christian, thank you for bringing that up. When it comes to zoning issues, it truly belongs with the community boards and not elected officials or top-down, in this case, the mayor. I've always been a supporter of community boards when it comes to any type of development. And my position has always been clear. If the community supports it, I support it. If the community is opposed to it, I'm opposed to it. I rely on the feedback that I get from the community boards on any development, and I appreciate that you brought that up. And maybe in 2022, when we get a new mayor, we can reevaluate how zoning decisions are made and any type of zoning change. So thank you, Christian.
Amen.
Thank you, council member.
Okay. Then we shall move on to the borough president's office, because I don't think we are supposed to have the district attorney in. She was going to come. I'm sorry, somebody said something?
Isn't Farah supposed to speak? I don't know if the councilman still has
No.
time, right?
The council member is all we need. I mean, no offense to Farah, but we don't have anybody better than, I think, the principal himself.
No, I know, but he said that Farah had something to say.
Okay, I'm sorry. I didn't hear that part. Let me unmute her real quick, because he didn't use his 10 minutes. Go ahead, Farah.
All right, thank you. And you're right, having Mark should be enough, but he did want me to announce 3 events quickly. Number 1, we did start our turkey giveaway list. I know, Bernadette, you have a group of people. Definitely call me or have them RSVP directly with our office so we could put their names on the list for a turkey. Also, we have a breast cancer awareness event on Thursday at 6 p.m. If you call our office to RSVP, please join us. And we also have our food distribution on Saturdays with Pelham Parkway Neighborhood Association and AAOH organization in front of 2141 Holland Avenue at 9 in the morning. And that's all. Thank you so much.
Short and sweet.
Can I say something real quick?
Yeah, well, go ahead.
No, I just want to tell Farrah to tell Mark Joe and I thank you so much for his input on the synagogue over here in my neighborhood that he's helping us straighten out.
Oh,
He
I
knows
will.
about it.
Thank
The
you.
Young Israel Synagogue over here. He's done a good job in well talking to me and giving me some good ideas of what to say and what to do.
Thank you. I'm still on, and we're still working on that, by the way.
Thank you so much, Mark.
I reached out to the owner, and I told him that, and I've been working with other members of the synagogue. We still have some work to do, and hopefully we can shape it into something that the community would embrace versus the owner of the property.
Thank you, and I know I know you always look out for us, and I appreciate that. I really do, really do. Thank you, Mark.
Thank you.
Okay. Unless there's anything else, Ish Gonzalez from the Borough President's Office.
Good evening, everyone. It's Gonzalez from the Bronx Borough President's Office. I just have two quick announcements. I want to welcome the new board members. I believe we have 3 or 4 new board members here at Board 11, so welcome. The new board members should have received, if you haven't received it yet, you'll receive it shortly, a new community board member orientation. That's going to be a virtual meeting, so you don't have to worry about coming in person for that. And that's going to be, I believe, this upcoming, the second Monday of November. So keep an eye out for that. If you haven't received that, I added my email address to the chat that the community board members should be able to see. You can feel free to shoot me an email. Either way, I'm going to give a call to everyone to make sure that they RSVP and they have all the details they need for that. Aside from that, that's the only updates I have at the moment.
Perfect. You're the best. All right. Joe McManus, Councilmember Torres's office.
Good evening, everybody. I just want to let you know the office was still open from Tuesday to Friday. If you have a constituent that needs help, call the office, and many times we're able to help by a phone call. If not, you have to make an appointment because we're only allowing one constituent in the office, one at a time. Also, most every Fridays, we've been distributing food, sanitizers, and masks. And that's about it. Thank you.
Thank you, Joe. Let me see who's next. I forgot to put you on the agenda, Joe. I'm sorry about that. Terrence Miller from the Public Advocate's Office is hopefully in. I think I saw his name. Bear with me. Terrence?
Hi. Can you hear me?
Yeah, there's an echo though.
Okay, sorry about that. Yeah, good evening, everyone at CB11. Terrence from the Public Advocate's Office. The Public Advocate wishes you guys well wishes, and unfortunately, I don't have a report this month, but the Public Advocate is still hard working on your behalf. But if you do have any questions or concerns, please feel free to reach out to me. Jeremy has my email address if you need to get in touch. Thank you.
Thank you, Terrence. We have, hopefully still in the meeting, Marcus from Congresswoman Ocasio-Cortez's office. Marcus?
Hi, can everybody hear me?
Yes.
Okay, so yeah, I'm here with my kids and it's bedtime, so sorry if you hear a little screaming in the background. My name is Marcus Bettinger. I'm a caseworker and field representative with the Congresswoman's office. I'm standing in for Destiny, who should be returning next month for your November meeting. Last week, the Congresswoman hosted her virtual town hall with Representative Earl Blumenauer, who represents Portland, Oregon. The event was focused on environmental justice and housing justice and the unique challenges that both of our districts face. If you weren't able to attend, you can watch the recording of the town hall on the Congresswoman's Facebook page, which is facebook.com/repaoc. And to stay up to date with future town halls and events, you can always sign up for our newsletter. And I'm happy to drop the link into the chat We have one newsletter in English and one in Spanish. I'll do that in a second. In terms of legislation, last month, Congresswoman Ocasio-Cortez and Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer urged FEMA to release funeral assistance to the families of COVID-19 victims. The representatives reached out to FEMA requesting this assistance in the spring and received no response. Since then, however, President Trump has authorized FEMA to use other needs assistance for all COVID-19 major disaster declarations through the Lost Wage Assistance Executive Order. The presidential authorization should give FEMA the authority to provide disaster funeral assistance to New York State and any other state that requests it. And so we'll keep you appraised of any updates on that. Okay, sorry. On October 1st, the House passed an updated version of the HEROES Act, and it provided additional rounds of direct cash assistance and financial support for individuals and families, housing support, restoring unemployment benefits, and $417 for state and local aid. The Congresswoman wants to thank you all for your participation in the census, and as always, we're still helping constituents. We recently, oh, okay, thank you so much. Have a good evening, everybody.
Thank you very much, Marcus, for adhering to the time. So then we have, can everybody mute themselves who's not speaking? Please, somebody make a lot of noise. I'm just gonna mute everybody. Maybe I don't have to. Thank you. I don't know if Emily Vasquez is in. I think I spelled her name wrong on the agenda. I can't move this for some reason. I'm having a problem moving that. So I'll just look on the first person I see. Clifford Temporosa should be representing Assemblymember Fernandez. Clifford?
Yeah, hi, do you hear me?
Yes, perfect.
Yes, hi, sorry, I wasn't sure if the microphone was going to be working, but not too many updates. Firstly, I just want to welcome and congratulate all those who are newly elected. In terms of events within the district this coming week and in the future, this Saturday we do have a Baby Needs Essential Drive, Saturday, October 24th from 11 to 3 at Maze Playground on Mace Ave and Williamsbridge Road. So we'll be providing goods such as pet supplies, mask sanitizers, food boxes, wipes and diapers and whatnot. We do have a virtual town hall on the 26th at noon. You can check for the Zoom link on our Instagram feed, Facebook, and Twitter. It's going to be about children and families with Astor Services. We've been providing food box giveaways in the Norwood area for the last couple of weeks. I believe we do also have one next week. You can also check our stop by the office for more information. You can give us a call and check our social media feeds. And tomorrow, if you do have time, if anyone has any community youth with them, there's going to be an event called Books with Barati on 2018 Williamsbridge Road, right at the office from 2 to 3:30. And next Friday as well, we have a Halloween giveaway right here at the office, 2018 Williamsbridge Road. So if you have any kids, if you have any youth involved in your families, come by. We'll be providing candy and just wear a costume and a mask, please.
30 seconds.
I think I'm good. There's not too many updates, but those following events. But thank you again. Once again, congratulations to all those newly elected.
Thank you. Now, Senator Bailey's office.
Hi, this is Renell from Senator Bailey's office. Senator Bailey has had several events. This month is Hispanic Heritage Month. We had a panel discussion on October 7th. This week, we also had a domestic violence lit drop in several areas in the community to bring awareness of domestic violence. And we were also joined by Councilwoman Natalia Fernandez. Also, our upcoming event with Councilwoman Natalia Fernandez and DA Clark will be October 30th from 5:30 to 7 p.m. It's a domestic violence virtual panel. You can join by the Zoom meeting that I will provide in the chat. Thank you.
Emily and you don't see Emily and somebody representing Senator Biaggi. I think includes official portion. So that would mean.
Well, I want to hold on a second, Jeremy. I want to thank everybody for keeping it under 2 minutes, and it makes it much better for everybody.
Great. So why don't we, the old business and the new business first before we do the executive session part? Keep that for the end. Is that okay? Just so we can get through old business, new business, or do you want? What's that? Yeah. Okay. So old business or new business. Or new business.
I have some new business.
Okay. Okay.
This Saturday at 11 o'clock at the corner of Bronxdale and Van Ness, there is going to be a walking tour, the East Bronx History Forum with Rich Fataco about the Van Ness Avenue. So, and if anybody is interested, it's posted on the Van Ness Neighborhood Alliance page. So please feel as if there's any historians out there want to know more about the community, please feel free to join us, and it's supposed to be great weather. So, and then also the Van Ness Neighborhood Alliance is having a Zoom meeting on November 2nd. Our guest speaker is Senator Gustavo Rivera, and all of the Zoom information and ID is on our Facebook page. Thank you.
Okay, there's somebody else that had new business? No? Okay, I did in the chat. I just sent to everybody. If you want to rejoin the meeting following the executive session, because that is the plan, please email us at bx11@cb.nyc.gov. Or, yeah, that's probably the best way. Or just put it in the chat here. Okay. Paula, can you jump into the meeting using the staff account?
Yeah, so I'm going to just log out, leave the meeting right now from my personal account and jump in.
Okay, in the meantime, Yahe, can you explain the part that does need to be explained publicly? We can't just summarily kick the public out without an explanation.
So the Ethics Committee received a few complaints, and because they involved community board members and personnel, community board staff, we will need to discuss them in executive session because they might lead to some sort of discipline.
The only other thing is the DA might be joining us right now. I don't know if you want to just double check before we go into executive session. Do you, or do you want to make a motion for executive session?
If the DA's on and you want to give her some time to speak, she can speak.
I'm not necessarily seeing her.
Hey, Jeremy, just letting you know I'm signed in.
Okay, great. Let me go to the public. Hold on. Oh, I can't. Can you? Hold on. I got to reclaim the host role.
Oh, sorry.
No, you will. So you will take it over as soon as we get out.
Okay.
So, Diane, you're going to stay in the meeting. Don't worry about you. Board members will stay in the executive session. Christina, is she in?
Yes, hello?
Yes.
Hi, everyone. Hi, Community Board 11. The DA will be joining us in about a minute or so. I let her know that that you guys are going into an executive session. She's just getting off of Community Board 12's meeting, so she'll be joining in the next minute or so.
Okay, so just so you want to make a motion, Yahe? Or do you want to wait? I don't know if we should wait.
Jeremy, it doesn't make sense to make a motion if the DA is joining us in a minute or two.
Okay, so just to recap, executive session means the public will be removed from the meeting as well as staff. So, and that's why Paula Carreri, board member who was kind enough to run one of the own committee meetings herself, any board member, I would like to, it's in my DM report, make you staff and train, so to speak, at least for the committee meetings. So if you want to rejoin the meeting, email us. If you have email at bx11@cb.nyc.gov, bx11@cb.nyc.gov. That's after the meeting is reopened. You can also text me because I don't know how, because I want to be mindful of people without phones or without computer access. They're only calling in. You can text me at 646. My gosh, I can't even remember my number right now. 830-0832. 646-830-0832. So she's in. I'm going to unmute her. District Attorney Clark?
All right, well, let me see. Am I unmuted? Can you hear
Yes,
me?
you're unmuted. We can hear you.
Okay, because I can't see myself.
Yeah, no, that's okay. We just need to hear you. We are keeping you to 10 minutes though, okay?
Oh, I don't need 10 minutes. I just wanted to say.
That's what they all say.
No. I promise I won't keep you because I
Okay.
know you want to go into your session. But thank you for giving me the opportunity to say hello. Just wanted to keep you informed that, the Bronx DA's office has been busy throughout COVID. We never stopped working. The courts has always been open, although access has been virtual. We've been doing all we can to make sure we continue to hold people accountable who are causing crime in our community. As you know, shootings and homicides have really escalated in the Bronx or in New York City this summer, but in the Bronx in particular. We've already surpassed the number of homicides that we had all last year, so that's very alarming, as well as doubled and tripled the number of shootings and shooting victims in the Bronx. I've been working to do anti-gun violence events all summer, marches, town halls, resource fairs, working with community organizations as well as the NYPD to do all that we can to help people cooperate so that we can hold accountable those people that are bringing the violence to the community. I've been looking at the data, looking at the areas that had the highest rates of the violence and really going into those communities and really engaging them in the resources that they need to make the Bronx safer. One of the crime prevention or gun violence prevention events that we're doing is coming up this coming Saturday, October 24th, at the St. Luke's Episcopal Church within the confines of the 47th Precinct, located at 777 East 222nd Street. I'm hosting my third gun buyback because right now, when I looked at the data, the 47 has the highest rate of shootings at this time. I live in the 47. My husband is a NYPD detective. He's been on the job 38 years, and we hear gunshots in our home. So no one is immune to this, and we have to do all we can to stop it. So in partnership with NYPD, we're having the gun buyback. Normally, you get a $200 cash card to turning a working handgun or assault weapon. If you turn one in just outside of this amnesty program, you get $100. During our program, no questions asked, no arrests, nothing. You get a $200 cash card. But because the violence has been so prevalent, I wanted to do more. I wanted to add an incentive. So I went out and I solicited the donation of 200 iPads. So in addition to the $200, you will receive a brand new iPad, one per person, whoever turns in a working handgun. And the reason why I picked iPads is because we have kids in our community that have to do remote learning that don't have access to the technology. So we figured that was one way to encourage somebody to bring in the guns so you could pick up an iPad instead and get the cash money. And also the parents or caregivers at home either working remotely so they can either use the technology or unfortunately because of COVID, we have the highest unemployment rate in the city at 25%. So those parents can also use the iPad to look for jobs and do different kind of professional development. So this Saturday, no questions asked. Let's get these guns off the street. We have kids being shot in homes. Had an 8-year-old girl shot in her apartment. Her mother's boyfriend shot her. We don't need that. We have people with mental illness. Suicides happen when guns are in the home. Burglaries are on the rise. People are breaking into homes, stealing things. They steal a gun. That means they'll rob somebody, they'll shoot somebody, or they'll kill somebody. So I'm doing anything that I can to get the guns off the street. So please spread the word. Put down the gun and pick up an iPad and the cash. And it's $25 for a rifle or air gun or a shotgun. So that's what I just wanted to share with you. I hope that was under 10 minutes.
It sounds like it. Any questions? Anybody?
Thank you for keeping that under 10 minutes.
Thank you for the information.
Okay. All right, I see a lot of my friends there. Hello, everybody. Well, I'm sorry I couldn't be here earlier, but there were 5 meetings at the same time. So I just left the 5-0 in
Hey,
person.
Jeremy, is there? Hey, this is oral. I'm sorry. So do you know why it's so much on the increase? Have they done any studies why it's so much different from last year?
Everybody is looking at that. All I can say is I think COVID has something to do with it. People were, locked in for so long. Social media, things are going on. People, are disrespecting each other on social media. We have a lot of gang and crew violence. People are unemployed. They've lost their jobs. People are sick. It's a real bad, perfect storm, that's causing all of this. And we have to do more to make sure that we stop it before it gets any worse.
Yeah, I know. And are the people getting access to mental health? Because I know that's a big issue. Is because of COVID, has that slowed down some where you have counseling and help?
Well, you know what the problem is? A lot of services are still shut down because of the pandemic. Not everybody's up and running like they were. Socially distancing, you can't have for so many people in facilities. A lot of things have turned virtual. So I know my office, my crime victims assistance unit, is doing therapy sessions by Zoom for our victims and our survivors. So, and we're connecting people to resources. It's just that the doors of the organizations are closed, but everybody has found a way to still continue to operate virtually. So, that's one of the things in our community. We're lacking the resources. Even before COVID, we needed more resources for mental health and drug abuse and poverty and homelessness and all of these things. And when we don't have the resources, people turn to crime, and therefore the crime goes up.
Yeah, I agree. Okay.
Thank you for the question.
Jeremy, can I speak?
Yeah, Joe. It's you.
Hi, Joe.
Yeah, this is for Darcel.
Hi, Joe. How are you?
Darcel. Yeah, Darcel, how do you feel about all the street units being taken off the street by the police department because of the defunding? And we know that some of the best cops and the street cops and people that know the area and know who the people are have been taken off the street. Do you think that has something to do with it?
I do think some people that think it's okay and they think they're emboldened because they think the police are not working. But Joe, you and I know the police are still working. They just think that they're not working. And I think also, with COVID, for some reason, these masks, people think that, I could do any crime I want because I got a mask on and nobody knows who I am. But we're a lot smarter than that, So we're finding ways to still get past all of that and to really investigate to do things. I mean, New York's finest is New York's finest, and we're going to work our way through this. I was disappointed with disbanding of some of the groups because, I think there was a time for a change and reform, but you can't do it without having a plan to take its place. So their lives the problem. But
I agree.
it doesn't mean that they've gone away. They're still working for NYPD. I'm still working with them. We're still doing all that we can, working with the community to do what we have to do to make the community safe. The biggest thing is that we need people to cooperate. And unfortunately, what is happening, it's not necessarily the police fault. These shootings that happen, people get shot and they're like, I don't know what happened to me. Only because they just want to retaliate. And I had a number of incidents like that this summer where people just want to take it into their own hands, and that's just perpetuating the crime. So you can't blame the police or the DA's office when we can't get people to cooperate to tell us who's doing it.
Yeah.
So Joe, unless you're still talking, could you press the F8 key just to mute your mic? Because there's feedback, I think, coming on your end.
Oh, okay.
Thank you, Joe. Any other questions for the district attorney?
Yes, actually, may I ask a question? Hi, Your Honor. I just wanted to find out if there are any trials being held at this time.
Okay. Thank you. That's a good question. The court has been trying to resume normal function slowly but surely. They have to be very careful because of social distancing, and the courts before the shutdown was some of the real hot spots because we have so many people. We are just now starting to get back to trials. Civil trials have begun. The criminal jury trials have not. They're going to be starting in November. We're going to try to resume that we can. But the grand juries have come back. So since August 10th, the grand juries have been back. So we've been able now to present the open felony cases that have been pending since the pandemic. So, we got a tremendous backlog. I'm not going to lie about that, but we're doing all we can to get through that.
Okay.
Thank you.
I think that's it. Thank you very much, Your Honor.
Thank you very much. Anytime, you all stay safe. And anytime you need me, you know that the DA's office is here for you. Thank you,
Thank you.
Community Board 11.
Hey, did you?
So someone asked the question, what happens after executive session? What's on the agenda? Most likely we'll come out of executive session and we will hold a couple of votes in public based on a decision. If a decision is discussed and we end up coming up with, we come out of executive session agreeing to vote. That's to answer, I think someone sent a question there. But right now I'd like to call for a motion to go into executive session to discuss complaints from the public about community board members and staff members. Do we have a second? Thank you, Edith. Discussion?
I second it.
Yeah. Discussion?
Anyone against? Any abstentions? All right, motion passes. We'd like to go into executive session at this time.
Unanimous. I'm stopping the recording. Bear with me.